and today on a brand new video for Gaming with GS, and today we're on Guild Wars 2, and I want to give you an updated guide on the Elementalist auramancer build for PvP, where we are running Dagger and Focus. I know several of you have had questions about the change of runes, the change of amulets, and the change of some traits that certain people are suggesting, and I wanted to make a 2017 edition of this build. If you want a more detailed guide on this build, please check out the original video I did on this, which was back in 2016. I'll explain the skills in that video. I'll explain in more detail the traits. I show you how to use certain skills. We have some gameplay footage in the background. So if you want more detailed descriptions and you want a more detailed guide, check out that video. I'll leave a card on screen right now. Also, obviously apply the rune changes and the amulet changes and all the important changes to the old guide. Also, if you are looking for a staff build, if you don't have Tempest, you do need Tempest for this PvP build. But if you don't have Tempest, we do have a staff build for PvP for Elementalist as well, and you can check that one out. I tend to have lots of success with that one in the past. Be aware that you may want to look at taking a Marauder's amulet, and you may want to take a look at taking Rune of the Scholar, Rune of the Strength, or Rune of the Pack for the staff build, because Rune of the Pirate is gone, and also Celestial Amulet is gone. So those are the changes I would apply to the staff build if you're interested in that. Link to that video is also as a card right now too, that you can check those two videos out if they apply to you and if you're interested in them. Other than that, we're going to jump into it right here. Just give you a quick breakdown of how to play this class in PvP very easily. So this is an auramancer build. Your main focus is to be healing. However, with the addition of this new amulet here, you can actually do a pretty good amount of damage. So we have Dagger and Focus as our two weapons. And for our amulet, we're using Mender's amulet. Now, originally we had used Cleric's amulet, then we had used Celestial amulet as well. They took both of those out. So now this amulet is really good because it allows you to have lots of healing power, but it also gives you the ability to do some damage. So you're not only just a healing support class anymore, you can actually stand a pretty good chance at 1v1ing people. And when we go over the skills briefly, I'll show you how you can possibly 1v1 someone through the rotation of your skills. So Mender's amulet is great for producing some damage and still being that consistent healer that the auramancer is meant to be. This is why this amulet is probably the best to have. Now for the rune, you want to get Rune of the Soldier, mainly because it gives you toughness, which we are lacking, and the additional vitality. Conditions seem to be a big thing nowadays in PvP, so having more vitality is always good. That way you don't get wrecked by them so hard. But the really cool thing about this rune is that with every shout, and we do have shouts here at the bottom, which are our auras, the auras here, you do get to remove a condition, and since conditions are so prevalent in PvP, this is a great way to remove the conditions that are applied to you. So this rune is really good. I think this hasn't changed. I think last year's guide we did Rune of the Soldier 2. I can't remember quite clearly right now. Now for your sigils, I recommend going Sigil of Renewal and Sigil of Transference. Now Sigil of Renewal is great because it allows you to heal nearby allies on weapon swap. Now the way weapon swap works on Elementalist, it's changing attunement. So every time you change an attunement, you heal people in your area. And the fact that it's 9 seconds, you tend to stay on an attunement between roughly around average 9 seconds anyway. So this is a great sigil that fits very well to the Elementalist. Another great one here that I'm using is Sigil of Transference, which increases our outgoing healing effectiveness by 10%. So it makes us really good at healing. I think you have to buy this sigil though, so if you don't want to buy that sigil, another good one to have is Sigil of Leeching, which will actually steal health whenever you swap to the weapon. Another great one also that I recommend getting, which I used to get a lot on my staff, but a Sigil of Energy, which also increases your endurance every time you weapon swap. And the reason why this is so good is because as an Elementalist, you are squishy, and we don't have a lot of toughness either, so you're going to be dodging a lot. And the more endurance you have, the better. So Sigil of Energy is really good too. So either get Energy, get Leeching, or buy this sigil of transference, which is very good because it increases your heals by 10%. So those are our weapons, those are our sigils, our rune, and our amulet. Now for traits, pretty much for Tempest, this is pretty much standard. Nothing really special here, nothing really to choose from. You tend to go bottom, middle, bottom. The reason why we're going bottom here is because we can grant auras. So overloading will basically grant an additional aura, and since we are an auramancer build, we obviously want to get a ton of auras. Now for middle, the reason why we're getting this one, auras can apply regeneration and vigor, is because mainly because it works very well with our trait up here in water. Every time you give regeneration, you also remove a condition. So we are removing another condition here from shouts, and then removing another one from generation. So we're removing many conditions with this little connection here between water and Tempest here. This is also a great way to continuously heal once again, and it's a great way to give yourself endurance as well, so you're able to dodge more, and you are filling that role as a support even more by allowing your auras to heal. And this last one here that we have is bottom here, which allows you to get a frost aura on your allies and on you, which basically decreases damage. So this is a really great defensive trait, which we may as well have, so we don't have toughness. So reducing damage is always good. Now for water, you want to go top, middle, top. Self-explanatory. Top gains regeneration on frost aura, so even more healing. When you get frost aura, you do more healing, you get regeneration. Middle here removes a condition when you're attuned to water, so conditions are very prevalent. We have a lot of condition cleanse in this build. Our shouts cleanse conditions, our regeneration cleanses conditions. Now attuning to water also cleanses conditions, so we have lots of condition cleansing in this build. And lastly, in water, you want to go cleansing water, which also basically makes this entire regeneration build work very well. Each time you have regeneration, you cure a condition. However, if you are okay with removing your conditions through Earth 4, which I'll go over in just a second, and if you're okay with removing conditions through your shouts, then I would recommend getting Powerful Aura. And this is a really great trait because every aura you apply, you share to your allies. So whenever you're using Feel the Burn, whenever you're using this Frost Aura one, whenever you're using any of your auras, even Fire 5, I believe, yeah, Fire 5, which gives you Might, you're sharing all those auras with the people around you. So this is a great trait to use if you're not having condition problems. In fact, if you are in a match where there's not many people who have a lot of condition damage, then I would recommend changing to Powerful Aura. If you are dealing with condition damage and you're having a hard time, then I would go with Cleansing Water. I tend to stay on Cleansing Water because Necros are so popular and everyone plays, not everyone, but a lot of people play Necro condition damage. And I have a hard time cleansing conditions a lot, so I tend to stay with this. Unless I see a match where I have no conditions or barely any condition damage, I would change to Powerful Aura because it's really great. But make your selection, test them out, see what you do well best. And Earth, we're going to have bottom, bottom, top. Bottom mainly because every aura you apply, it gains protection. So more protection is always good, reduces the damage. We have bottom here because it helps us recover faster from chilled, crippled, and immobilized. Chilled is a elementalist worst nightmare. You don't want to be chilled because not only does it increase the cooldowns of your skills here, so it takes longer for you to use your skills, but also increases the cooldowns of your overloads and changing attunements. So you want to recover faster from chill. This is a great skill. And then lastly for Earth, we go Diamond Skin, which is top here mainly because conditions applied to us above the threshold are removed. So this is really great to avoid conditions if you're above the 75% threshold. And with your healing, you should be above the 75 threshold most of the time. So once again, if you are above the 75 threshold and you're okay with cleansing conditions, then you could very well make the change to change this to Powerful Aura, and you can give your team more auras. So that is our specializations, and pretty much everything in our build has been covered. Now, let me just go over utilities real quick. Wash the pain away, hands down the best heal. Lightning Flash, really great for mobility to obviously get out of sticky situations, to help you regain cooldowns and whatnot. So this is obviously really good to use. And feel the burn here. This is really good because it does some damage. It also gives an aura, which gives might. So always good to have might. And now for this trait, now for this skill right here, your 9 skill, which for me is my E skill, you can either have the flash freeze, which is really great for applying another frost aura and chilling the opponents around you, which will basically make their skills take longer to recharge. But if you're dealing with a lot of dragon hunters, a lot of rangers, highly recommend Aftershock. This is a great reflect, and it saves you so many times. I've gotten many kills with Aftershock because people just kept on firing. Thieves who also use pistols a lot, very good to use Aftershock too. So once again, analyze your team comp, analyze the enemy's team comp, make decisions of whether you want Aftershock or Flash Freeze, make decisions on whether you want Powerful Aura or Cleansing Water in your traits. Now for your R, your ultimate, your elite spec, whatever you want to call it, I'm starting to use Tornado a lot more. Mainly because I can hold points a lot easier. This allows me to gain stability and hold points, but also knock people out of the points. Kind of like Engineer. I think Engineer has a very similar trait. And this is a great way to decap points if you're ever needing to decap something. This is really good because it knocks people out and you can decap it. Another great way to also secure a capture point. But if you don't like using this, if you feel like you're not having much success with this, I highly recommend getting Rebound. Rebound is really good because it gives you more auras, but more importantly, it can save you from dying. If you happen to be almost dead, if you use Rebound, it basically kind of revives you and boosts your health back up. So this is a great way to save yourself. If you're about to die, use Rebound and you regenerate a ton of health. Once again, I've saved my life many times with Rebound, but I've also had much success with Tornado. So try these out, see which one you like, and you'll definitely pick one of these and you'll probably do well. So those are our utility skills. Quickly for rotations, fire, you mainly want to be on fire to give the aura here. Once you have the aura, you can use your other skills for heavy burn damage. But the majority of your damage, if you're not healing people, you're mainly going to be on air, and you're using your overload. Your overload air tends to do the most damage, so use your overload air whenever possible. Use your fire overload whenever possible. So to do some damage, use your air overload, use your fire overload, and then you can use some of these fire skills, such as 1, 2, 3, and 4. Combining these 3 skills together, engaging with 3. You can also use 3 to escape, and combining with 4 and 2 can give lots of burn damage. So fire is the main source of damage after you've used overload on air and overload on fire. For air, like I said, overloading is great for damage, but if you want to knock people down, you can use air 5. So if you're trying to knock someone down from rezzing someone or stomping someone, use air 5. Blocking projectiles is good for air 4. If you've already used Aftershock, if you've already used all your reflecting abilities, use air 4 here. It basically destroys projectiles. The rest of these, this one is great for breaking stun, so shocking aura is great for stun breaking, and the other ones here are just mainly for damage. Nothing really crazy here. Your water is mainly for healing. Your water 2 skill is great for healing in a cone, so you can just spin around and heal people with your water 2 skill. Water 3 is great for chilling people. Water 4 is great for chilling people, and Water 5 is great for dazing someone. So you do have ways to stop revives, you do have ways to stop stomps, and basically to disable someone through Air 5 and through Water 5. So if you're looking for CC, those are the ones to go for. And lastly, when you want to be on Earth, mainly just for defensive stances. The main ones here you want to look at are 4 and 5. 4 is great for cleansing conditions. If you have a lot of conditions on you, Earth 4 will remove 3 conditions, so it's great for cleansing conditions. If you've used your shouts already, if you've used your water overload already, then Earth 4 is great for cleansing conditions very quickly. And obviously the famous Earth 5, which is what makes this build really awesome. It allows you to become invulnerable, and this is great for heading into mid early on in the game with your entire team and not taking any damage, still allowing it to heal, not losing the point because your other teammates are in there. The good thing about the skill is that it's not 5 seconds long, it's only 4 seconds long. So even if you're trying to hold the point, if you use Earth 5 and stay in the point, obviously if you're using Earth 5 and becoming invulnerable while you're trying to capture a point, you won't capture anymore. But if you're defending a point, you already have it captured, during those 4 seconds, it will decap, but just before it's about to decap, you do still have a small portion of that capture point towards your team. So if you're trying to hold off people, use Earth 5, and you can still hold that point in the last second because it's not a 5-second skill, it's a 4-second skill. So it's a really great change from ArenaNet. I think this used to be a longer time, but they changed it. And they also changed the fact that you can't hold the capture point while being invulnerable. But this still works very well because it doesn't fully decap. If it's obviously fully capped. If it's fully capped to your team and use Earth 5, you'll still have it capped after those 4 seconds. If it's half capped already by the other team, then you obviously lose it because it's not fully capped. So that's kind of how to use the skills. That's kind of how to use the utilities. That pretty much sums up the build. Hopefully you enjoyed this updated build. Like I said, if you want more detailed information on these things, check out last year's build. We go a lot more in depth. A lot of these skills, we go a lot more in depth in the build and show you actually some gameplay footage as well. So highly recommend you check that out if you are new to the class and you really want a better explanation. Plenty of other Guild Wars 2 videos on the channel, plenty of other Guild Wars 2 guides and builds on the channel too, so if you're interested, please subscribe. I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy a lot of the content that we have on here. And if you want to donate $1 to my Patreon page, you can do so as well. Click the card in the top right hand corner of the screen, it'll bring you to the page. And I also want to remind you that Winter's Day will be ending on January 10th, so if you have not done your Winter's Day dailies yet, to get that Winter's Day cheer and to get that skin, you should probably get to work on it, because to get those special skins that were just released this year for Winter's Day, you only have till January 10th. Then we'll probably get a new patch. I'm wondering if they'll bring a new Living World Season 3 maybe? We can only hope. Maybe they will. I'm hoping they do because I'm ready for it. So we'll see what happens. And that pretty much sums up the video. If you want to check out the vlogging channel, the tutorial channel, the music channel, the device channel, links in the description as well as in the end screen. Thank you for watching as always, and this is GSmaniamsmart, and I'll be back sooner than you think. Don't go anywhere.